everybody. I hate to interrupt your lively conversations. I just want to say we still have lots of people coming in. And so if you have room and want to scooch in and be super friendly with the people next to you to make space for the folks who are still coming in, that would be just super thoughtful. And there's still, for folks who are coming in, there's still lots of chairs in the back, but there's room in the pews, believe it or not. Believe it or not.
Come Christmas, most needed of seasons. Come with the reminder that love does not depend on perfection, but on willingness to risk connection. Come into the unready manger of our hearts, that we may feel the warmth of new life and give flesh to the promise of hope that cries to bring healing into our world. Come Christmas, come love, come hope. Be born in our unready hearts on this silent and holy night. We light our chalice this night as both a promise and a prayer, that this flame may connect and inspire us today and in all days to come. Let us begin our worship with singing together. Please stand if you're comfortable standing and join in singing hymn number 235 in the gray hymnal, Deck the Hall with Boughs of Holly.
Yay, the organ. Good evening, everyone. Almost. I already wished someone good morning once. I was trying to get it right. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Urbana-Champaign. We are a people of many different ages, histories, identities, bodies, genders, beliefs, and we are united in our commitment to our shared mission, which is to build community, seek inspiration, promote justice, and find peace. My name is Reverend Beth Monholland. My pronouns are she, hers, and I have the deep joy of serving as the lead minister here alongside our associate minister, Reverend Sally Fritchie. Our service tonight is for everyone of all ages, and no matter if you are old or young at heart, if you need to wiggle around or stretch or something to keep your hands busy, just know that that is absolutely okay. We do have some coloring packets. If anybody really does want to keep their hands busy, they're just in the entryway. And if you are feeling a little too crowded and want to truly stretch, you are welcome at any point in the service to just go across into Fellowship Hall where the live stream of the service will be available. And speaking of moving around, no, I think we're good. I already said, if you could make room in your pews, but look at us. We all fit in here tonight. Yay! For those joining us online, welcome. We are a full house, and it feels wonderful to celebrate this holy holiday season with you. So let me once again say welcome. Welcome to this sanctuary. this place where we do come together as a community. And whether it is your first time with us, and if it is your first time with us, thank you for choosing us on Christmas Eve, or your millionth time here, know that here in this community, you are held in love. I know this time of year, with the ending of one year, the beginning of another, that Christmas is the bridge to what has been and what we hope will be, and it demands so much of our time and attention. It demands so much of us that here for just this 1 hour, I invite you to lay it down, whatever it might be that's pulling at your focus, pulling at your heart, and let us gather instead with some stillness, some pageantry, and song. So I invite you to join us once again in singing Rise and Body Your Spirit for number 246, O Little Town of Bethlehem. Oh, that's right. It's you, not Sally. That's right. Thank you, MR. And thank you all for the beautiful singing. So as some of you probably know, winter solstice was just a few days ago, and there is a reason that the early Christian church chose to celebrate the Christ Mass. If you didn't know, that's where Christmas comes from. The Christ Mass near the winter solstice. Because, and don't worry, this is not a long church history lesson, but it bears reminding this time of year that in the Northern Hemisphere, for millennia, the solstices were celebrated as a cycle of the ending and returning of light. Always, what the solstice meant was that an old year dies, but a new year is constantly reborn. You can see perhaps while that metaphor of rebirth, a renewal of hope, which appealed to people across millennia and across different kinds of traditions when Christians were trying to spread and conquer and take over the world. And they said, hey, we also believe in love and hope being reborn. That they took some poetic license with when Jesus might have been born and said, yes, but it's not just a literal truth, it's the metaphor of the story. The metaphor that hope can be reborn in any and every single child. That even in the most dire of circumstances, even under the heel of the most oppressive empires, new life is constantly renewed. And so at the solstice time, Christians said, yes, that is also our story. And because there were many such stories, it's not just about one tradition or even one religion. Today, it doesn't matter so much the particularities that you might believe. What matters is what do you allow today to be born in your heart in connection and hope with other people. But because stories matter and because stories endure, and this one particular story has indeed endured for 2,000 years, and it is, after all, the Christ Mass. Welcome to Christmas. I think it behooves us, no matter our backgrounds and beliefs, as we gather as a people of many different stories, to tell a version of this one. So here is a version of the Christmas story taken from the Christian Gospel of Luke, told to you with some liberties. As told in Luke, we get something like this. Once upon a time, long ago, in a land suffering under the heels of an invading empire, an emperor decided he needed a little more money than he already had and said, hey, go out, people, and collect me some more taxes, which meant everybody in that country had to go back to where they were from so they could be counted correctly so that they could render unto Caesar the money Caesar wanted. And one such couple that was disrupted by this decree were this young couple, young in love, Mary and Joseph. That's what we've come to call them. And they were poor. Joseph was a carpenter, but he was working really hard, trying to build some life for them and the new baby they were having, because sure enough, they were having their first little one. Now, if anybody in here has ever had a baby, you might know that traveling when you're real close to giving birth isn't recommended. It's not recommended now, and it wasn't recommended for Mary either, but render unto Caesar. So they packed up what they could, and they started walking from where they lived in Judea down to where Joseph was from to get to Bethlehem. And as luck would have it, they sure enough got there a little later than they planned because Mary, again, was real pregnant and they were walking. And so they had to take lots and lots of pee breaks and lots of rest breaks. And so when they finally got to where they were going, folks were like, look, we're sorry, there is just not a lot of room left. You should have booked sooner. Right? So then there they were, Mary about to give birth, like, what do? We're not made of money. And we're not Caesar to just demand people give us some, but we do talk to strangers, and we are going to ask for help. And sure enough, one of those kind strangers said, you know what? I've got no room in the inn, but there's this nice stable out back. And stables in first century Palestine were actually really nice. So we think of them as like a place where that's cold and windy, but no, they were built in. They were going to be sheltered. They were going to be warm, and it was going to be stinky, everybody, but they weren't going to be cold, right? I'm telling you. So that's where they were landing for a little while. And then once again, as luck would have it, the baby decided to come, because babies come on their own timeline. And so there they were, surrounded by dust and maybe a little stinkiness, but the warmth of all their animal friends, and surrounded by the love they had for each other. And Mary gave birth to a healthy little baby boy. And she and Joseph held that baby with all the love in their hearts. They counted his perfect little fingers and toes the way you have maybe counted the perfect little fingers and toes of the babies in your life. And they were filled with marvelous joy. And unbeknownst to them, down the road just a little bit, there were some shepherds who were also tending with tender care to their flock of sheep. Maybe it was goats. The story doesn't tell us that. But there they were, minding their own business, not paying attention to anything outside of, did they have the right amount of sheep? Did any of the sheep give birth? Did any of them wander off? When all of a sudden their attention was pulled by the singing of angels. Right at the moment that Mary and Joseph were marveling at the miracle, the ordinary, everyday miracle of a baby, their baby being born and counting his perfect toes, and the shepherds were out there trying to count their sheep, angels came to them singing, "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth, peace, goodwill to all people." And that is the wonder of the Christmas story, that the angels sing, even if it's only in our hearts every time we make room for the ordinary miracles. Oh, fabulous. Sally's correcting me. Thank you. And so, because we believe we want to make stories come alive a little more than I just did, we're going to make a story come alive. Is everybody ready? All right, here we go.
All right, I need you to stay up here.
Yep. All right.
Hello, we're sharing the mic. So
Invite out.
we got to learn in our seminary education that part of Christmas pageants and nativity plays used to be traditionally a way of playing with and embracing the role reversal that was in the Christmas story, where all-powerful, mighty God is an itty-bitty little baby. So it'd be a way for people to be in the opposite role that they were usually in. Local nobility would dress up as ragged shepherds. Lowly farmers would play the Holy Family of Mary and Joseph, or the rich, foreign, wise men. People got to try on roles that they wouldn't normally have and got to think about what it would mean for humanity and divinity to coexist on a level playing field. That's part of the sacred message of the story. But of course, all those old practices, once so transgressive and surprising, kind of mellowed out into a familiar format you might have seen once or twice. We've all seen, Mary played by a serene 10-year-old, the most well-behaved in the class. We've all seen Joseph be, a fidgety kid in an itchy false beard, and a darling angel or two dangling stars on dangerously long poles. And I love this type of nativity. This is what I remember from my childhood. I always tear up. I always get nostalgic. But here, we are going to embrace the spirit of role reversal, living into the unexpected. We're going to do something a little bit different that we've done once before, a couple of Christmases ago. And I'm going to need Reverend Beth's help. Yep.
So, solemnity does have its place in the celebration of Christmas, but so does laughter. Thank you for laughing already in this service. And joy is at the heart of Christmas. So one of the things babies can teach us if we let them is how to giggle and how to have a little bit of fun. So some of you, when you arrived this evening, agreed to participate in the service, and you received a present all wrapped up as they should be. Yep, there we are. So can everyone who took one hold their present up? Yay! Okay. So if you can't see, presents are being held. This is wonderful. So now we can tell you that you will be playing an unrehearsed, randomly assigned role in our nativity scene. Yay!
Okay. Merry Christmas to you all. You win. So your gift bag provides you everything you need for your role. So you're going to create a silent tableau. Do you know what I mean? You're going to gather here. So we're not going to force you to have speaking roles tonight. You're welcome, but you are going to be surprised where you get to be. So just in a minute, we are going to call you up here and ask you to spend some minutes doing your best to silently embody the story of Jesus' birth for everybody here.
Okay, so to find out what role you're playing, you'll need to open your present. So everyone who has a present, everyone who's sitting near someone with a present, you can turn to them and help them open it. Nothing makes a present open faster than a bunch of hands ripping it open. You should also have a little card attached to the ribbon handle of your gift bag that specifies who you are and has a little picture. So if you need any help figuring out how to wear your costume, maybe ask your neighbors for help, ask your grown-up for help if that would help. And maybe you're a completely different type of person than the character you're playing. You're the wrong age or gender or size.
That is
Part of what we wanted to do is let these roles be open to everyone as a way to remember the humanness at the heart of the story and remembering that all of us can find ourselves in every single one of these characters. All right, we're ready. I see Mary right there.
All right.
I'm gonna get a chair for her.
Let's get a chair for Mary.
Okay. All right, we're gonna give you 1 minute and then we'll start calling you forward. Help your neighbors get their costumes on.
Do you want to grab this? Will it be easier? There's the folding chair.
All right.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay, first, Mary. Where is Mary? Mary, there you are. Come on up to the chancel. We've got a chair for you, Mary, so you can sit. So we all have something in common with Mary's humanity, even if we don't fit the mold of what we might expect the Mother of God to be. So please sit next to the manger and gaze at your new baby. Mary, you are a young mother. You were told by an angel that you would be having a baby who would save the world. And now the baby is here. No one is ready when their baby arrives. And most don't have an angel to herald that arriving. But here you are. Tonight, with your participation in our tableau, we are all part of your story, Mary.
Now, Joseph, if you could please rise and come forward. Oh, there he is. Joseph, you are a loving husband. You wanted to follow the rules and pay your taxes, and now here you are in an unfamiliar place with a new baby. You might not be ready. Maybe you're not quite sure what you believe about all this that's going on, but you know that you are going to love your strange little family with all your heart. In this story, we can all be Joseph too.
And we already know there was an angel singing the praises. Can our angel rise? Fabulous. So angel, come forward. If you can stand up here. As if you are indeed on high in the heavens and looking. And you're looking down at the new baby and family you were so excited about. As an angel, your job is to spread the Christmas story far and wide. Thanks to you, people know that they don't have to be afraid, even on dark nights like this. And your happiness comes out in joyful singing. On Christmas, may we all be angels like you.
Aww. Now, shepherd and sheep, please rise and come forward. Oh, you can go behind Joseph there. Thank you. Beautiful. All right. Oh, I put them on the wrong side. You were just ordinary person and ordinary sheep. You're minding your own business. Someone unexpectedly made you part of a story that you didn't know you would be part of. I think everyone coming up to the chancel tonight can relate to the shepherds and sheep a little bit. Maybe you're a little nervous, a little confused, but it's Christmas, and we can't help but be excited about a strange night like tonight.
All right. Later on in the story, so later on right now, a wise person, can the wise person stand? Yes. Wise people came, and you can come and stand, right here by Mary. And you can bring your other wise person with you. There were multiple wise people. So the wise person was powerful, a wise elder, older than everyone here. Maybe you even think you're one of the most powerful and wise people in the whole world. But on Christmas, you realize there are still things you don't understand, and that this tiny baby might be even more powerful and wise than you.
Thank you, wise person. Now, if there's anyone out there who didn't know that this was an option and would still love to participate in our nativity tableau, and you're welcome to come forward. People can make room. Any last-minute volunteers, you can come up and sit on the floor, look up at the manger with love. You are the people of Bethlehem, that still and silent town. And remember, everyone who's up here is being streamed online, so you can wave at our Bethlehem folks at home. The children of Bethlehem are part of this story as well. Thank you for being here.
Now, maybe none of this is how we thought things were supposed to be in the story of Christmas. But isn't there something wonderful and familiar and joyful about it, even in its surprise?
I feel like it shouldn't be exactly how you but maybe this is supposed to be the real one.
Amelia said, maybe this is supposed to be the weird one. Everybody. That is actually when we invite ourselves to look at the world anew, to maybe switch up roles, to let things take us by surprise. They might strike us as weird or silly, but they can also help us take something big and serious and put it right within our reach. Can you help us think about things in a different way? Yes. Not yet? No, all right. For those who could not hear, somebody wants to know where the donkey is. That's right. Here's what happens. Things get weird.
It's right there.
The donkey.
We knew he was here. Okay.
When we are open to the wonder and the silliness and the surprises, sometimes we get what we didn't even know we were looking for.
All right, Mary, Joseph, shepherd and sheep, wise person, angel, people, Bethlehem, and of course, donkey. We are almost done up here. You are doing such a good job. But first, you all might think that you didn't have a part to play, but you would be wrong. You are the chorus of angels descending from above to sing Gloria in Excelsis Deo at the birth of this very important baby. So our Christmas tableau will do their best to remain quiet and still, while the rest of us sing an angelic song. So you all up here, pick a pose that you think embodies your character. Maybe looking into the cradle, maybe looking at the star that the angel is holding. And once the song is over, you wonderful storytellers can leave your costume pieces up here with me and return to your seats. Please, everyone else, rise if you're comfortable doing so. And we are going to sing the first two verses of Angels We Have Heard on High.
Angels we have heard on high, sweetly sing. Shepherds, why this jubilee? Why these songs of happy cheer? What great brightness did you see? What glad tidings did you hear? Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo.
Beautiful singing. You may be seated. Nativity characters, you can go back to your seats and rejoin the community and leave your costumes here in this basket. That'll be over on the side.
I didn't know that sheep wear bows.
They can if they want to, right?
I know, it's stuck. Where's my stick? It's stuck.
Thank you, everyone. Reverend Dr. Howard Thurman is a 20th century theologian, scholar, and inspiration to many Unitarian Universalists. In addition to learning something about Christian theology in seminary, Sally and I both read his work. He's a wise person, and he has this beautiful reflection in the theme of how do we hear and sometimes be the singing of angels. Howard Thurman writes, "There must be always, remaining in every man's life, some place for the singing of angels, some place for that which in itself is breathlessly beautiful and by an inherent prerogative, throwing all the rest of life into a new and creative relatedness. Something that gathers up in itself all the freshness of the experience from drab and commonplace areas of living and glows in one bright light of penetrating beauty and meaning, then passes. The commonplace is shot through with new glory. Old burdens become lighter, deep and ancient wounds lose much of their old hurting. A crown is placed over our heads that for the rest of our lives we are trying to grow tall enough to wear. Despite all the crassness of life, despite all the hardness of life, despite all the harsh discords of life, life is saved by the singing of angels. So let us be the angels once again. You can stay seated, but we will do the final verse of Angels We Have Heard on High, verse number 3.
See him in a manger laid, whom the angels praise above. Mary, Joseph, lend your aid, while we raise our hearts in love.
We practice generosity in many ways here at UUCUC, sharing our time and talents in serving our mission, sharing financial resources for the operations of this church and for those in our community who do work beyond this church in alignment with our values. In 2020, our first pandemic Christmas, we here at UUCUC created a special fund administered by our neighbors at the Cunningham Township called the UU Utilities Fund, because we love U's. We've taken collections for this fund every Christmas Eve since then, and with our donations, dozens and dozens of local families have been able to pay their utility bills over these past 4, now 5 winters, keeping the lights on, the furnace burning, and clean water flowing. Generosity is at the heart of the Christmas story. We witness the many ways people welcome in and share love. When we pass the collection plate on Sundays here at UUCUC, we typically split what we collect 50-50, with half going toward our church's operation and half going toward an outside organization doing the work of justice. On Christmas Eve, however, everything we collect is given away. The entire collection plate today will go to the UU Utilities Fund. You can give by text or through the online portal on our website. Here in the sanctuary, a plate will be passed. You can give by cash or check. And on a check, please mark that it's for the Christmas Eve service so it goes to the right place. You can also give online through Realm if you're on that platform. Every dollar you give tonight is going to help someone right here in Champaign County make it through this cold, dark season. So let your generosity be felt, and know that anything you contribute, no matter the amount, will be gratefully received by those who need it. In the spirit of generosity, in the spirit of Christmas, we thank you.
While the choir continues to make their way up front, I wanted to give notice to the composer of this piece, whose name was left off the program on accident. Nick Page is the composer of this piece, and this In the Presence of the Past looks to the future, where the past is always present. This piece was written to commemorate situations during the Civil War, and we're going to hear quotings of Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, and we'll hear Amazing Grace, and we'll also hear a little bit of The Storm is Passing Over, all throughout this piece.
Through our soul.
That was so beautiful. Thank you all. I love language and words. And I was thinking in relation to the Christmas story of Mary having that baby, the way when someone is pregnant, we say they're expecting. And I remember when I was a kid, I always thought that sounded so weird, like expecting. What are you expecting? A baby. What else? I hope you're not expecting a dog. You are going to be disappointed. But the season of Christmas is filled with expectations, isn't it? It comes with heavy expectations for many of us. The expectation to be always cheerful and on and bright and happy, to be excited for all those family gatherings, to be excited for the gift giving and the gift buying. And there are expectations about how we should feel and behave, expectations about finding the perfect gifts, expectations about preparing the perfect meals. Is anybody in this room feeling any of those expectations? You're not alone, because according to the National Retail Foundation, this year alone, Americans are on track to spend $980 billion with a B dollars in the Christmas season. That's for food and clothes and gifts and travel, and that is just $980 billion of lots of expectations. And I'm not here tonight to criticize consumerism, but rather to remind us that every dollar we spend, every gift we buy, every meal we prep, we are all filled with the expectations and the knowledge that we just might not meet them. We are all filled, no matter what this season brings to us, with the worry of, am I enough? And so how do we make space in the crowded, busyness, heavy, expectation-laden season for a little rest for our weary hearts? How do we make space in the inn of our souls for maybe what actually needs to be born in us? How do we quiet the noise of all the expectations long enough to hear the singing of angels that we didn't even believe in? And how do we make space for the sadness that maybe the angels might not be singing for us this season? In the Christmas story, the angels don't sing to Mary. I imagine Mary, a young, expecting mother, with no hopes of any sort of heavenly visit coming to her. She had no expectations for gifts, and indeed the wise men in the story come months and months later. She had no expectation, I imagine, of comfort or ease. If she expected anything, I imagine she expected trouble. But she did have curiosity and wonder and holy expectations for the baby that was going to be hers, and whether or not that baby would be God, that baby would be precious and loved. And she had the connections of friends who sang with her when she told them she was expecting that new life. She had the love of a companion who was with her there in her hardest moments. There might not have been singing of angels, but there was love. And isn't the singing of angels just that, loving connections after all? What I hope for each of us, each and every one of us this day, this Christmas season,
is that amidst all the heavy expectations you might be holding, that you can make space for sweet, still, holy connections with each other. I pray that if we cannot hear the singing of angels in this season, that we will at least show up for each other in whatever ways we are called to show up for each other. And maybe it's just gathering for cookies in Fellowship Hall after a Christmas Eve service and be reminded that there, in the sounds of conversations of your neighbors, in the sounds of children laughing and crying, there, in the space that connects us, is where the singing of angels actually lives. I pray that whether or not the angels are singing, that we will be a song for each other. So let us sing once more together. Hymn number 244, It Came Upon a Midnight Clear.
It came upon the midnight clear, that glorious song of old, from angels bending near the earth to touch their harps of gold. Peace on the earth to all goodwill, from heaven the news we bring. The world in solemn stillness lay to hear the angels sing. Still through the cloven skies they come, with peaceful wings unfurled, and still their heavenly music floats o'er all the weary world. Above its sad and lonely plains, they bend on hovering wing, and ever o'er its babel sounds the blessed angels sing.
Now is the time when we each take our little candles and hold on to the light of Christmas, letting ourselves feel everything this year has brought, feel every hope we hold for the year to come, and sing the classic Austrian carol, Silent Night, together. Freed from all the roles that history has heaped on them, we imagine Mary and Joseph simply as two new parents staying awake and gazing down at the miraculous bundle of their sleeping newborn. How dark the night must have been, how brilliantly the stars must have shone. Around the world tonight, congregations are gathering by candlelight to sing carols and rejoice in some version of this old story. We take part in this old tradition in this place and this time. We will be entrusted with sheltering these flickering lights in the darkness and passing their warmth outward into the world. Allow me to explain what we will do here tonight. From our chalice flame, we'll bring that light down to light bearers who will walk carefully down the middle aisle to deliver the light of Christmas. In each row, the light will spread candle to candle as we tip unlit candles toward lit ones. And who will carry the light of Christmas out into our congregation today? We've adopted an old New England tradition here that the youngest babies of the church are the light bearers. By placing that sacred responsibility on such young shoulders, we honor the spirit of Christmas when a tiny baby is called king, and when those with the least power are in the spotlight of all our attention. So anyone who is 7 years old or younger and wants to help carry the flame today, I invite you up here in front of the altar. You can bring your candle, bring your grown-up if you would like to, bring an older sibling if they would like to accompany you. Everyone, please make room and let them begin to come on up. As Reverend Beth helps our flame bearers light their candles, and as the light spreads through our sanctuary, we'll lower these overhead lights. We'll all sing Silent Night, as written in our hymnal and projected on the screen. We'll sing all 3 verses, and then come back and sing the first verse one more time. Light bearers, all you have to do is hold your candle so carefully and let the people in each row tip their candle over and light their own wick. You just hold your candle straight up and down, because we don't need to celebrate the holiness of new birth with spilling hot wax on each other. We'll all remain seated while we sing, and as candlelight fills the sanctuary, it will become dark. Do not be afraid. When we reach the end of our singing, we'll take a quiet moment to enjoy the silence of this holy night together, and then we'll all blow out our candles and have just a moment of total darkness before turning our sanctuary lights back up.
Thank you for the beautiful singing. Thank you for the bright lights that you are, even when you do not carry a flame. This Christmas Eve, I pray that we trust with holy expectations that love is being born with its promise of reconciliation and healing, and the promise that with each new breath we take, we are made whole and holy. We welcome love born in each new baby, and we welcome the miracle of love born in our each and every interaction. Go in peace, go in love, hold your expectations lightly, and let us sing once more together. We will close with joy to the world. As we get ready to sing, you are welcome to put your candles ever so gently back in the entryway on your way back. Fellowship hour will be filled with cookies and coffee and kinship and conversations, so do feel free to stick around for that. And again, if you don't feel like singing, just let the singing wash over you. I forgot, yes, stand.
Be